Hello, everyone. My name is Shatima Kemp, and my choice of website would be Quizlet.com. So this is the web page that you come to when you first get to Quizlet.com, and of course, for me, it would be I'm a teacher. Now it says Quizlet for teachers engages students in and out of the classroom with interactive study material, learning activities, and games, and it is free. So I have also already created a login for my own class, but you can also sign up using your email, your school email, wherever you work for. You can log in with Google. You can log in with Facebook. I'm going to put my own. Give me 1 second. I'll put that in there, right? Yes. Okay, so my webpage is called Miss Kemp 5. I teach fifth grade reading and language arts. So at the top of the screen, you see a mission, blog, careers, mobile, teachers, Quizlet Live, Quizlet Learn, diagrams, press, and help. So at the top bar, there is a search, browse, create. Now, my webpage, my page for my classes are one of our stories that we use. For example, at the beginning of the school year, since I'm a reading teacher, the first week of our first unit, the story was called Red Kayak. So they already had a set created for those terms that the students were studying um, already on the website. And of course, it wants me to upgrade, but there's no need to. So when you get to a set that you like, you have flashcards, learn, write, spell, test, match, gravity, live. And those are our games that you can play in order for the students to get more engaged into the flashcards. But if they just want to learn, they can do this in your classroom. They can do this on their own time. But it gives them, for example, compressions is a word in that vocabulary unit. So I click on compressions and it shows me a picture, and it also gives them what that word means. And it's 7 terms, as you see, 2 out of 7 within this one, and you can keep going. Click on it and it gives a picture and it gives them the definition. You can also click on learn, and it says answer every term correctly twice to finish. So if the student does not get it right or keeps getting the same one wrong, it'll always just circle around until that student is able to answer each term twice, and they'll be finished. You also have write within this. So purpose was one of the vocabulary words within that unit, so they have to type the definition of purpose within that within the blank right here where it is flashing. So they would have to put what is on Quizlet in order for them to get that correct answer. But again, if they go in order of what's on the side of the screen, they'll be able to do that fine by the time they get to write. And spell is the same way, where you it's simple, type what you hear, so it will speak out loud for them, and then they have to type what they hear in the blank. Now test is very, very good for teachers. For example, I used, when I did a book study using Quizlet, using for one of my novel studies, I simply printed this off and I gave it to my students for a grade. But you can also fill this in on Quizlet, and it'll allow them to put the answer choices in there themselves and check the answers, and it will check them for them to show them, hey, this is how many you missed, this is how many you got. So that is a very good benefit to studying these words within Quizlet. So the games, you have a match game where The students have to make everything disappear. It gives a whole screen of options where, okay, compressions is the one of the words. So I click on compressions and I have to drag compressions to the definition and it disappears. Now, if I get something wrong, for example, if I drag grumbled to the wrong definition, it will not disappear, and therefore the student sees, hey, I did this one wrong. And it also times them to show them, okay, let's see, try to beat your time this time, and let's see if you can do that a little faster. So that's a great way for them to interact with their vocabulary words. You also have Gravity, which is a game that my students personally enjoy, where the terms or the words are, let me do this first. So you can set it easy, medium, hard. You can answer with the definition, or you can just answer with the word or the term that you're using. So I did term, and it says watch out for red asteroids. If you miss a term twice, they will destroy your planet. So while that game is loading, the definitions will drop as each level goes by. So the students will need to put their term in the blank, and once they get it correct, the asteroid will disappear. But since that one, I didn't put a term in that one, then it will go and it will count against them. So this is level 1, and the score is 0 right now. Okay. As soon as we get that to load back. But overall, I love using Quizlet within my classroom. And the good thing about Quizlet, and I'll talk about it in a minute since this is loaded now. So this is Quizlet Live. If you've ever played Kahoot, it kind of reminds me of Kahoot. For me personally, I've put my students I have about 7 computers within my room, and so we have could have about 6 to 7 groups within the classroom. So the students gather into groups, and then they get a name and they sign in. And as the questions appear, as the questions appear, the students will see how they scored based on, or how they're in the lead based on how they're answering the question. So each student will be able to see the questions, and if this student gets it wrong, say this student, they see that, and then if this student is in the lead, they see, okay, we need to catch up, or they're winning the game. So that is a great way for students to interact with the vocabulary terms as well. And it's always not vocabulary, it's just what you put in there, so you can make your own sets within. So if you come up here to search, what I like about teaching reading is that most of my vocabulary terms are already have been created by someone else using this website. So if I wanted to do maybe comprehension skills, or is not hindered, or it's not just about those vocabulary terms within reading. It goes all across the board to different subjects. And you can search, you can find the one that you like, or you can create your own. So for example, I just typed in comprehension skills. So we have inference, preview, visualize, take the self connections. And so the students can practice with those skills, so they can recognize, okay, this wants me to visualize, or this is an example of previewing, or this is an example of making an inference. So they're able to practice that. And it's not just for students in elementary school. This goes beyond college. I even had some when I even used this website when I was taking the praxis for my school at AUM. So it practices with the praxis as well. But it's a great way for students to be able to play and learn a little bit while not being so caught up in having a book in front of them, and they're able to interact and they're able to play. So that is the great thing about Quizlet. Again, it's free for teachers, and it's free if you just want to practice your own. So these are some that I have in my folder right now, and all I do is click Um, I get the link for my class page, and I post it on my page where my students can see what they are studying, or I can and they can come straight to it. So when we have our vocabulary quizzes, they're able to come practice their vocabulary during a downtime in the classroom. They can get on the website, and they don't even need me to get on there for them. They just go there and they go to my class, and they're able to practice. Okay. And so those are my classes. I just have Miss Kemp's fifth grade class. So that we just have that, and it has everything that I have added thus far within that. So yeah. So it's been great. And you can keep them all on there. Or you can delete them off as you um, go ahead as you pass through each part. But I like to leave all of mine on there just in case students want to go back and practice a little bit more. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.